All right, let's talk about your application's digital DNA. We're going to dive into PC Guard and really master those critical application info settings. You know, getting these right from the start is absolutely fundamental to your success. So let's get into it. So picture this. You're finally there. You've built your app, and now you're inside PC Guard, ready to lock it down. You open up that application info screen. You see a bunch of fields, and it seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, hold on, because while most of these settings are pretty simple, there's one in there that is basically the master key to your entire licensing and update strategy. And if you get that one wrong, oh boy, you could be looking at some seriously unhappy customers and a support nightmare that you really, really don't want. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Section 1 is all about giving your application its first, most visible identity. First up, you've got the application name. And yeah, it's pretty much what it says on the tin. It's the name that's going to show up in the window title when PC Guard is interacting with your user. Simple enough. But here's the thing. That's just the public-facing name. The real identity, the one that's doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. Well, that's what we're talking about next. And that leads us right into the big one, Section 2, the application signature. I'm telling you, this is without a doubt the most important setting on this entire screen. So what is this thing? The application signature is just a unique string of text, somewhere between 6 and 10 characters, that acts as the core identifier for your whole product line. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like your software's social security number. It's that one-of-a-kind ID that ties everything together. And this one little string, it holds so much power. It's what controls whether your users can just install a free update without needing a new key. It lets you group different applications together so they can share a single license. It's even baked into the unique machine ID, which makes sure that an activation code only works for the application family it was meant for. So this is really where you have to make a big strategic decision. Let's say you're releasing a free update, like version 1.1 of your app. You use the exact same signature. That way, the new version just works with the license your customer already has. But if you're releasing a major paid upgrade, maybe a version 2.0, you give it a different signature. That makes it a totally separate product and forces a new activation. The key takeaway here, you've got to plan this out from day one. Which brings us to the cautionary tale. This is what happens when that application signature is misused, and it's something every single developer needs to understand if they want to avoid a total disaster. Ugh, this message. File damaged. This is the error that will just ruin your day. Your user installs your latest update or maybe another one of your products, and boom, they're locked out staring at this. They can't use your software, and you better believe they are emailing your support address. It is an absolute nightmare. So what's going on here? Why does this even happen? Well, it's not some random bug. No, it's a very predictable conflict between two incredibly important settings that you control, the application signature and something called the program ID. Okay, so here's the anatomy of this disaster, step by step. First, you've got two different apps, but you gave them the same application signature. Second, you also gave them different program IDs, and you can think of those as their unique encryption keys. Now, because they share a signature, the system thinks they share license data, so it tries to use the encryption key from app A to unlock app B, and of course, it fails. That corrupts the process and triggers that awful file damaged error. Okay, so we've got the big picture signature down. Now let's zoom in a little and look at how you manage versioning on a more granular level, and that's with the Update ID. The Update ID is way simpler. Seriously, it's just a number you bump up with each new release. You start at 0, your next update is 1, then 2, and you just keep going. The only rule is a higher number always means a newer version. That's it. But don't let that simplicity fool you. This number is powerful. When a new update ID is detected on a user's machine, you can trigger all sorts of actions. You can use it to automatically reset a user's demo period, for example, or reset their license transfer count, or even completely wipe out a previous license. It gives you this really fine-grained control over the whole update experience. All right, last section, let's just quickly wrap up with the last few settings. These are all about the practical side of things, just managing your files during the protection process. These are pretty self-explanatory. Application file name is your input, the program you actually want to protect. Backup original application is a fantastic safety feature that's on by default. It saves an unprotected copy of your file so you never accidentally lose your original. And output file name is simply where the new protected version of your app will be saved. Simple, but, essential. Okay, that was a lot to take in, I know. So let's boil it all down to 3 golden rules. 3 things that you absolutely have to follow to keep your applications and, more importantly, your users happy. Okay, here they are. If you remember nothing else, remember these 3 things. Rule number 1, if it's a family of related products or it's a free update, they share the same signature, period. Rule number 2, when you're just playing around, experimenting with different protection schemes, always use a unique test signature for each test. That way you won't create conflicts. And rule number 3, this is the big one, the one that prevents that file damaged error. If 2 apps share a signature, they absolutely must share the same program ID. No exceptions. And that's it, really. The application signature is the core of your software's identity. It dictates how your apps relate to each other, how they get updated, and how they're licensed. So the most crucial thing is to plan ahead. Understand your strategy, follow these rules, and set that digital DNA correctly right from day one. The only question left is, now that it's set, what are you going to build with it?